If you were to ask an Armored Core player, why do you feel like it's one of the better games out there, you would probably get a plethora of responses. Many of them PvP enthusiasts, build diversity people, story. I think they all agree, though, that stuff like this never gets old. It's just so satisfying to use all of these games mechanics back to back as fast as you can, as much as you can, to really pull off some of the coolest looking stuff you can do in a game, in my opinion. No, it's just my opinion, but, just look at this. It's video evidence of some sexy robot fighting. I mean, who doesn't like that? I can see why. I'm not really a mech guy myself, but this game particularly attracted me to it. And the short answer is it's because it rocks. Long answer is it has so much to offer to many different people. And that's why I decided to go back and look at my old builds, old footage I had from when I first got the game. And this one, what you're seeing, is my first actual attempt, and not really attempt, I mean, actual completion of the Balteus fight. And let me tell you, parts matter, sure, I'll say that, but they don't matter nearly as much as the experience of the person using said parts. This is all old, alright. Later in the video I will show you that I actually go back and use these same parts, the same build, everything. I even take away OS tuning to see how I could replicate this feeling again. It really went well for me, I would say. It's one of those things that I would recommend anybody do, if you had played this game a lot, mind you, but if you're a fresh person playing this game, obviously just go through it naturally the first time, see what happens, and progress as you go, experience things organically, you know? I ended up finding my builds early on. Like, as you can see in here, I'm still using the old Noctrier legs. You can't really see it so well, but it's also the Alula booster. Two things that are staples of my builds now that I have build knowledge and what I want to actually do in mind and how to do it with the right parts. It's all about organic experiences in these games, I noticed. It's so baffling how it could hold someone's attention like mine. Like, I'm a build guy. I just love to make mechs all the time, right? And I just jump in here to do that sometimes other than fight the same bosses that have been in here for a minute because that's what's fun. In a second here, I'm going to show you exactly the setup. And it's not the best, obviously. It's beginning game parts. It's not meant to be the best of the best. But what it is it's a solid foundation, I would say. So I replicated all of it, made it into a whole new mech, took away all the OS tuning, like I mentioned, and only gave myself assault armor for this fight to see if I could replicate just as much as I could out of my first go in real completion of Balteus. It wasn't that bad, honestly. Let me tell you though, this fight was almost a night and day difference in terms of, confidence in going into it because I've fought him so many times. I've done a lot of stuff in this game since then. Even got the platinum under my belt, like doing as much as I can in this game, even going into PvP, into ranked. I've pretty much done what people can do in here other than taking away all your OS tuning and trying the game like that, for example, or in the base AC, the one they literally start you in. This is as close as you can get to, like, trying to experience stuff the old organic way, instead of, like, all these crazy parts and all this good damage and the extra repair kit healths, for example. Like, the biggest one for me in this fight was having to downgrade generators, okay? That's the main thing that hurt me. As a lightweight build, that's one of the main things I found is that the generator and the boosters, of course, obviously in your legs, are some of the most important things to factor in. You need energy and you need it to come back quickly if you want to be able to dodge around quick as our build would want. It's just night and day how you have to manage these things. And that's what part of the fun came in, was like going back, actually downgrading and seeing how far we've come in terms of parts through the game, like progression wise, it was insane. These first beginning parts are solid. Like I still use this rifle, for example, but a lot of people use the melee I'm using too, but you know how it goes. It's like many people feel like that the early game parts aren't the best. It's fair, a lot of them aren't, and only use in-game stuff, but there's a lot to be said about early game parts that, isn't to be said about late game stuff, because there's no late game legs that I want to use over these Noctwire, for example. It's all about finding the perfect fit for the playstyle you're going for. Obviously, tank guys want the heaviest stuff they can get and the biggest guns usually. Us light guys like really light, zippy stuff. Usually the better generators allow us to do that, better boosters, but we actually get the best booster kind of early on, depending on what you're doing. I mean, if you're going for, pure melee stuff, that's a little different. You have to factor in not just generators, but arms and all this stuff. I can go on for hours. Like I said, I'm a build guy, but it's all about the action for Armored Core people. At the very core, every single one of us just want to find the playstyle that best suits us, and the parts and ways to make it work. That's all we ever really want, to just supplement the action that we do. So, just for a little bit of fun, I also went ahead and put all the good parts on and everything again. All the good OS tuning, everything. And I didn't make an optimized build for killing Balteus. That wouldn't be as fun as just throwing something together that's a little weird and wacky and just trying to see how it works. And that's what I've been doing for this entire year this game has been out, just making many, many builds and playing the game over and over, basically trying out everything I can within my build preferences. That is, I haven't been exploring like tanks this whole time. I've been refining the playstyle of being a lightweight guy. That's just how I wanted to do it. Everybody finds that eventually, and they fine tune and refine it, or they try new things, and that's all part of the fun. That is Armored Core. And if that sounds interesting, you should definitely try it. Like, it's just fantastic, honestly. I slept on it for so long. And I mean, now here I am, finally a little bit into, it's like a year since I started making videos, and this game itself was the reason why I even felt like I wanted to start doing that. It inspired me to actually do something other than just sit here and play games. It inspired me to make videos on it, even if it isn't the best. It's not about it being the best, it's just about doing it a lot of the time. So it was nice to come back and feel these kinds of feelings of like, wow, this is just fantastic. Because I do habitually come back to play this game, I will say, but to go back and play like an old build of mine was just beautiful in a way, I would say. It was very interesting. But to put a long story short, this game rocks, and everybody should try it at least once in their lifetime, even if you're on the fence about it. I was on the fence for a little while until I saw who was making it. Once I saw From Software was developing it and whatnot, it was an immediate, like, I have to try this, because they are my favorite devs in the game industry because of the legitimate art that they put into their games. They're making literal, like, living art that you can experience firsthand. It's just one of those things that people need to see, like those seven wonders of the world, kind of thing. Like, nah, we got plenty more wonders, alright? Everything FromSoft pumps out nowadays is just top-notch, people. I'ma say it. I don't care what you think, it's great. But if you made it this far, I appreciate it, and I thank you for watching. It means a lot to me if you make it this far. I'm gonna leave you with this fight I had with the Ibis series. First time in a long time.
待て、まだ終わっていない。
再起動します。
これがアイビスシリーズの進化ということか。
周辺コーラルでの求心、環境からエネルギー供給を受けています。ジェネレーターを完全に破壊しない限りこの機体は止められない。敵損傷拡大。あの機体からこの場に共振する強い反応。コールを守るという意志。
追い詰めているぞ621。やはりこの仕事をやり遂げられるのはお前だけだ。 AP 残り 30%。